right, final video. Woohoo! All right, so it comes to dating and relationships. I think about don't you think about like how much your parents modeled the definition of a relationship for you, and how like you think about like how long it's taken you and I to like work on, overcome, move through that stuff. I mean, I just think like then when I think about my kids, if I do ever have kids, um, like I just want to I understand the power of a marriage. And the other thing too is that it does a healthy versus a bad marriage. I mean, it's not just this like just the couple, that you have to understand is going to be affected by the marriage. It's and it's not just the children, but it's your friendships, it's your family members. I mean, I've got two friendships right now that are strained because no, three. I've had three friendships that have become strained because they've made poor decisions in their relationships. And so we just can't be friends like we used to be because I don't I can't love their husbands, I mean, like, that's crazy. And like, so we have to think about how a good relationship doesn't just alter your life, it alters everyone around you. It alters your work, it alters your health, it alters everything. So anyway, so that's why I'm continuing to do this series. All right, so my last video is talking about like what do I think that we need in order to be prepared for a successful relationship. All right, so the first one is that I can talk openly about my fears and insecurities now about relationships, or even just about myself in general. That my friends and loved ones, if I want to get ready for a relationship, I need to be already able to openly talk about the most embarrassing, deepest shit in my life. That I can confess it and be able to talk about it. Because if I can't talk about it now, how am I going to talk about it, especially when it gets into a relationship with, a lifelong partner? It's most likely going to be just as hard, if not harder. So, all right. That I can talk openly about how my abusive past affects me now. I think that's really important too. That I can be able to say, like, look, this is what I do. This is my tendencies. Like I said in one of my videos, like, one of the things that I know I will talk about when I go into an exclusive relationship with a guy is I'm going to talk to him about how I get anxiety about relationships every now and then. That like, that like if I don't hear from him for a while, I might it's just gonna happen where I will probably end up texting him or maybe doing an extra call or something like that. And that's just because I'm more anxiety prone in a relationship. Like I need to be able to talk about that. I need to be able to be honest about the fact that, I'm overcoming an eating disorder, things like that. So, yeah. Anyway, I need to be able to talk about and be aware of how my mom treated my dad or how my dad treated my mom is going to affect how I'm going to treat my partner, or how I'm going to allow my partner to treat me. So, all right. Another piece is that I recover quickly from my emotional triggers. I think that's really huge. I mean, of course, we all have moments where it's going to take maybe weeks, to overcome bad time or bad season or things like that. But the thing is that, like, being able to recover from emotional stuff is good. Like, one of the things I think about is um, at some point, at some time in the future, I will have to circle back to my parents and my family, because I have a sister who's mentally handicapped, and And I know that at some point there's going to have to be some sort of discussion around that with about her, and it's very likely I'll be in the mix of it. If I see my parents, or if I see specifically my mother blows up, or my mother has a rage, or whatever, that if I'm with my partner, I have to know that I can recover from that incident, well, in a way that's not going to hurt him, in a way where I don't take it out on him, or destructive, unhealthy shit like that. So I want to be able to recover quickly, or if I do, because I'm human, um, that I, can be aware of it, I can acknowledge it, I can apologize, I can move through it quickly, and so then that way, like, it doesn't really affect us as a couple. So anyway, yeah. Um, Another point is that I'm good at handling conflict now with loved ones. If I struggle to handle conflict now with people, like, what's gonna happen when I'm dating a guy, and trying to or hoping that it's going to turn into marriage or something like that, like, like, that's that those conflict skills have to be, I have to work on them now. Yeah. And then I'm also comfortable with intimacy, my flaws, and being vulnerable. That's also huge too. That I if I really want to attract the right guy, I have to be able to be comfortable with, with bearing my soul, with exposing who I am to them to the fullest, because if they can't do that back to me, then there's a good sign that that's not a healthy relationship, or if we rush to do it, to be super intimate and all, well, then that's also a sign that it's not a healthy relationship either. But I want to, over time, be able to feel comfortable and safe enough to be like, this is me and this is all of me. And you got to love and accept me as I am, not try to make me into something else like my mother did, not not avoid me and ignore me and ignore my needs like my dad did. Like, you have to love me, and I want to love you, and I don't want to recreate what I saw in my parents. I want to be able to work through stuff now. So anyway, yeah, so there's all of my points. Like I said, I know I know some of them I still have to work on, but at least I'm really getting there, which is good. And I hope that this will help you too in your own figuring things out. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on, this stuff. Like, are there things that you're like, hey, I can't be in a relationship until I've figured this out, or until I've done this, or until I've done that. So anyway, yeah. So I hope you have a great day. Take care.